What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I'm Sid the Nerdy Mark, and today I have your review of NXT and 205 Live. Now, first things first, before we begin, you're probably wondering why I'm recording in a different angle. Well, no particular reason. I just kind of felt like it. There's really no deeper reason for me to do it. I just thought it would be kind of cool to change it up every once in a while. If you like this, I can make this the constant from now on. If you don't, that's fine. We can go back to the original angle next week onwards. Just let me know all that stuff in the comments below. Also, I also wanted to let you guys know, next weekend is AEW's Fyter Fest. We will have predictions on this channel. They will be live with armbar audio. We're kind of working out some of the stuff here. The predictions for Fyter Fest will be on this channel, and then the review will be over on Armbar Audio's channel. So be on the lookout for that. We'll talk more about it as the days go by. But until then, let's dive right into this week's WWE Network shows, starting with NXT. NXT began with a boom because the Undisputed Era with the NXT champion Adam Cole, baby, came out and celebrated their victory at TakeOver 25. Adam Cole was talking about how NXT is going to be their brand. It's going to be an undisputed brand. And he even says that William Regal can't touch him. And he even goes as far as to say that Triple H can't touch him. He also said that the Undisputed Era will be draped in gold. So that should be interesting. I would actually really love to see all four members of the era holding a belt, because, you know, every faction should have that, you know, hold all the gold kind of a moment, you know, at some point in their, you know, in their tenure. So we got some interruptions. The first interruption was, of course, the Velveteen Dream, the North American champion, kind of cuts a promo. He interrupts, and Roderick Strong kind of says something like, "You ain't nothing," something like that. Then we had another interruption by Matt Riddle, the man who beat Roderick Strong at TakeOver 25. He comes in and gets a few shots in on the era. Cole has a great line where he says, "Go back to reviewing Attitude Era wrestlers," as kind of a shot at the comments he made at Goldberg concerning his performance at Super Showdown. Then Tyler Breeze shows up. He says a few things. So this is a really good segment overall. I really enjoyed it. Tyler Breeze does say that he spoke to William Regal, and he says that it's going to be a 6-man tag match. It's going to be the team of Breeze, Dream, and Riddle versus any 3 members of the Undisputed Era. So that's going to be later on, but for now, let's get into our first match. So our first match of the evening is Raul Mendoza taking on a debuting Damian Priest, the former Punishment Martinez. And I gotta be honest, I kind of really am digging this gimmick. As I mentioned, he kind of reminds me of the Brood Edge in a way. You know, he's kind of has that dark side to him, but he's still like a hit with the ladies. I guess, you know, tall, dark, and handsome. That's what Damian Priest is. But anyway, I thought this was a decent match. You know, Raul Mendoza gets a lot of offense in the beginning. This pisses off Priest, and he goes in and he basically hits his finisher. You know, after, of course, you know, choke slamming you know, Mendoza onto the apron, then going in, hitting his finisher, which I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it's called the Archer of Infamy or whatever it is. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's still a decent finisher. Damian Priest wins. That's kind of all it is. So welcome to NXT, Damian Priest. Looking forward to see where they go with this character. Next up, we do have NXT General Manager William Regal announce the NXT Breakout Tournament. We have 8 of the superstars in the WWE Performance Center who have never been featured on NXT television to finally have their big debut on NXT TV. This is going to be really fantastic. It's going to be an 8-man tournament, and the winner of this tournament will get to contest for the NXT title of their choosing. I'm excited to see where this goes, but as I mentioned, we do have 8 contestants, so here they are. I'm going to just read them off the list that I have here. But the 8 contestants are Angel Garza, formerly known as Humberto Garza, Boa, then Bronson Reed, formerly known as Jonah Rock, Cameron Grimes, formerly known as Trevor Lee, Dexter Loomis, the former Sam Shaw, Isaiah Swerve Scott, the former Shane Strickland, Joaquin Wilde, formerly known as DJ Z, Jordan Miles, the former ACH. This should be very interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes. Next week is when the tournament starts, and we will kick off with Joaquin Wilde versus Angel Garza. So that should be interesting. Looking forward to see what they do with the NXT Breakout Tournament. It is time for some women's action. We have Tainara Conchi taking on Xia Li, and this is a pretty decent match. Conchi and Lee had actually previously teamed up to take on Ariya and Vanessa Bourne, I believe. So that's cool to see these two back on TV again. This was a pretty decent match. Both women showing off their martial arts skills, and it was great. It was just good stuff. Finally, Xia Li did win with the spinning heel kick, so that was good stuff. But looking forward to see where these two women go, particularly Xia Li, because I think she is fantastic, and yes, I think she's very attractive, but also I think she's a great wrestler. We had a couple of segments in this week's edition of NXT. I think I'll continue to talk about the segments from now on if that's what you guys like. We do have the championship edition of Street Talk hosted by the Street Profits. They talk about how they're going to be facing off against the Forgotten Sons, so that's cool. That's going to happen next week. Looking forward to that. Also, we did get an in-depth look at Mia Yim. Nice little promo package for her, highlighting her days in the Indies all the way to the Mayan Classic, and then finally getting signed to NXT by the request of the fans who kept on chanting, "Please sign Mia." That's pretty cool. Looks like she might be the next in line for the NXT Women's Champion. And finally, it is time for our main event. We have the team of Matt Riddle, Velveteen Dream, and Tyler Breeze taking on the Undisputed Era, who is represented by the NXT Champion Adam Cole, Bebe, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong. So this was a really good match. I enjoyed this quite a bit. All the chaos in the world, as it is expected to be with these 6-man tag matches especially. I didn't take a lot of notes this time. I actually didn't take any notes this week, so that's probably why I'm kind of struggling for time. But anyway, amazing V-trigger by Matt Riddle, which of course they don't call it the V-trigger this time, they just kept calling it the ripcord knee, so I was interested to see that. Then we had the team of Riddle, Dream, and Breeze definitely working together off the off. A great sequence by Cole and Breeze. I actually would love to see a singles match between these two. Strong and Dream go at it for a bit. O'Reilly's circling around the ring. Fish and Riddle go at it. All good stuff here. I really enjoyed that. We had, of course, a distraction by Kyle O'Reilly, which helped the Era take advantage. The match did end when a miscommunication by Breeze and the Velveteen Dream does allow Roderick Strong to hit an end of Heartache on the legal Velveteen Dream to win the match for the Undisputed Era. So it looks like we're going to get Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong for the North American title, something that I would really very much like to see. I actually would love to see a much more aggressive side of the Undisputed Era this time. Like, I'd like them to be a little bit more serious instead of, them just spitting out corny jokes. I'd like to see that a little bit more. But anyway, that's kind of how NXT ends. Of course, the team of the good guys is in disarray at this point and is in shambles. Hopefully that the prophecy that Adam Cole predicted in the beginning of NXT this week does come true by the end of 2019. So only time will tell. But for now, let's move on to 205 Live. 205 Live did begin with tag team action. We have the Singh brothers taking on the Lucha House Party, more specifically Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik, who looks like he is paying some homage to Jushin Thunder Liger. So this was a good match. Didn't really think too much about it. I will say that the Singh brothers are definitely growing on me ever since they left Jinder Mahal and came down to 205 Live. I mean, they're heels, but I think they're very endearing. They have their own version of the Oscar award called the Boscar, which is the Bollywood Oscar. Go figure. Fun fact, the actual name for the film award for the Bollywood industry is called the Filmfare Award. But of course, if they use that, they probably will get sued by the Academy. So they're definitely not gonna do that anytime soon. Not a bad match. One spot that I will talk about, we had the Golden Links Lince Dorado hitting a bit of a messy Golden Rewind. I thought it was a little bit messy, but some good aerial assault by both members of the Lucha House Party, with Grand Metalik hitting a shooting star press onto Sunil Singh. However, the match did end when Sunil went for Penelope. Kalisto kind of tried to snatch it away, but Penelope got ripped in half. This pisses off Kalisto and also catches Lince Dorado off guard, which allows Sunil to roll up Dorado with a handful of tights to continue the undefeated streak of the Singh brothers. Next up, we do have the Brian Kendrick taking on Russ Taylor, a local Californian talent. Kendrick does try to offer a handshake to the young Taylor, but Taylor brushes it off. Then he mockingly offers a handshake of his own. Kendrick brushes that off because he cannot tolerate being disrespected. Kendrick is trying to gain some more momentum after his loss to Mike Kanellis 3 weeks ago. But Russ Taylor does kind of take Kendrick to the limit, gets a little bit of offense in, but to no avail because Brian Kendrick does quickly turn things around and wins the match with the sliced bread number 2. So it was announced by Drake Maverick in the beginning of the show and promoted throughout the whole show that we are getting a triple threat match for the Cruiserweight Championship. We have Tony Nese, the Cruiserweight Champion, taking on Drew Gulak and Akira Tozawa at WWE Stomping Grounds this Sunday. The name is absolutely horrendous. This should be a good match. I actually will probably watch Stomping Grounds this Sunday. I'm probably not going to pay too much attention to it, to be frank with you, just because it is a main roster pay-per-view. But this is a match that I am looking forward to. I do think that Nese should win this one because it's, I think let him keep the title for a little longer. But I do eventually think that Drew Gulak, with this new sadistic persona that he has been showing off, should definitely take the title off of Tony Nese. So that would be really cool. But anyway, excited for this match. But with that being said, let's move on to our main event. And finally, we do have our main event. We have Oney Lorcan taking on Ariya Daivari, both men who have cost each other their championship opportunities. So they have some bad blood. Great match overall. Really, really loved it. Oney Lorcan does take advantage early on, but this, of course, has Ariya Daivari running. He tries to escape through the crowd a couple of times because he's like, this guy's a madman and he's going to kill me. However, Daivari does quickly take advantage when he hits what I believe is called the divorce court off the second rope. Leave it in the comments below if that's the name of the move. But he hits that move and injures the left arm of Oney Lorcan, which he continues to target for the remainder of the match. So that was good stuff. Finally, Lorcan, despite his injury, does hit the half and half suplex onto Daivari, who rolls out of the ring. Then Oney Lorcan jumps to the outside, hitting the suicide dive. And then, when he's not looking, Ariya Daivari grabs a chair, hits Oney Lorcan across the ribs, giving Lorcan the disqualification victory. But Ariya Daivari does continue to brutalize the hell out of Oney Lorcan after said match. Now, this, of course, means that the feud is not over anytime soon. I am smelling a rematch down the line. Again, it's feuds like this that make me wish that 205 Live had its own pay-per-view. But I don't want to get into that too much. Watch my last week's review for my full rant about that whole thing. But either way, great match. The show ends with promos from all three competitors for the triple threat match that's going to happen at Stomping Grounds. I do feel like Drew Gulak is going to get some new themes music because he kind of renounces the whole Gulak for a better 205 Live gimmick. So I think he's going to get a new theme. He's going to have some new gear. Well, we kind of saw the new gear, but he's going to get a new theme. So I'm looking forward to that. Not to knock on his old theme. That was great. But if he's, going to focus more on himself than on a better 205 Live, I think he deserves a new theme song. But anyway, great way to end out 205 Live. Looking forward to the triple threat match at Stomping Grounds. So, overall, I thought this was two great shows. Great showing by both of Triple H's brands. And this is another reason why Triple H needs to take over WWE very, very soon. That's besides the point, though, as far as matches of the night goes. For NXT, I am going to give it to the 6-man tag match between the team of Velveteen Dream, Matt Riddle, and Tyler Breeze taking on Undisputed Era. As far as 205 Live is concerned, I am going to give it to Oney Lorcan versus Ariya Daivari. So those were my matches of the night. So that pretty much concludes my review of NXT and 205 Live. Let me know what you guys thought about both shows in the comments section below. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media and tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for your continued support. This is Sid signing off. You guys take care. Bye-bye.